Hi, my name's Kiefer. Welcome back to Pangaean Illustration. So, bit of a different one today. Up until the 4th of May, I will be doing a bunch of Star Wars videos on this channel. One, it's weird that I'm posting back on here when I said that all videos was going to be on KO, but that's something better explained on a KO video. As for the reason why I'm doing Star Wars videos, well, I booked in for a fair. Geek market at the Wolfram Centre in Wolverhampton. So I am just going to attempt to draw a bunch of Star Wars stuff, and hopefully you like it, but either way I'm going to have fun doing it. So the first set of drawings you're going to see today is a set of 4 Jedi portraits, and I hope you like them. They've all been done digitally just because, well, it's the quickest way of doing the art before the fair. If I had more time, I would probably spend ages doing it traditionally, like this behind me, but unfortunately I don't have that luxury. So enjoy the video. So first we have Qui-Gon Jinn, and admittedly this was the last drawing I did of the 4 that I'm showing today, but is probably better placed here when going in chronological order to the films, especially seeing as I've noticed I've taken the different character designs from the different films rather than taking them all from one film, which I don't know why I did that, don't ask me. I just went with the appearance that I liked the most from each of them, even though admittedly I much prefer the Clone Wars to the live action stuff. I don't know why. Might be a bad thing to say, I might lose followers for it, but Clone Wars was just great. But Qui-Gon Jinn wasn't just a character I wanted to draw for the sake of it, it was because he's kind of the Jedi that started it all in the films. At least when you're going in chronological order in terms of the prequels, and then going on to the old original films. But Qui-Gon Jinn seemed like a necessary character to draw for this video, and he was also a character that I used as an experiment, as even though he doesn't appear in any of the other films, I still wanted to draw him, and decided, sod it, I'm gonna draw him. If I don't like him, it's not too much of an issue, but I'm gonna use it as an experiment, and I'm glad I did. But the experiment was, rather than just painting on the shading in grayscale like I usually do, so when I do my shading I'll do it all in grayscale underneath an overlay colour layer, but instead of doing it just grey this time, I decided to add in some reds and oranges, and I think it makes the skin colours pop. And just, of the 4 that you're seeing today, this is probably my favourite just because I tried something. It might not have ended up working, but it did, so I'm happy with it. And I probably should say all of these drawings are meant to be stylized. They aren't meant to be realism. If I wanted to do realism, then, you know, I'd have done it in pencil. I wouldn't have done it on my tablet. This is me having an experiment, trying to do something fun. But yeah, I hope you like the result as much as I do, because God, I had such an issue trying to get into the right headspace for drawing these characters, because I'm not used to trying to draw things as they are. I want to turn things into other things. I've done marvel as dragons on a few occasions, and yeah, no, this was a nice change of pace and just a challenge in itself, trying to just stylize the characters. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Well, come on, I couldn't do Qui-Gon Jinn and not do his apprentice. I had to draw Obi-Wan Kenobi because he is one of the primary characters within the prequels and makes his appearance in A New Hope. So, yeah, I like it, and I just felt like it was necessary. What I will say is, of the four, this drawing seems the most plain and simple. I don't know if that comes across for any of you, but it definitely does for me. There isn't much colour to him, and I don't know whether that made it easier to draw or harder to draw. Again, I did stylize these, and I don't think it comes across as Ewan McGregor, to be honest, but I think it's close enough at least. I wanted to try and make these characters look as close to their actual designs as possible, while not making them one-to-one, because otherwise what's the point in doing it? I'm not showing off my style that if I don't... Yeah, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi was a necessity in my eyes, and I really like how it turned out. Again, not my favourite, that's got to go to Qui-Gon Jinn, but you can see from this one that it's that grayscale shading, except in the section on the arm coming behind him. Now, I did start trying and messing about with the colour shading there, and that's what made me think, okay, let's go all in on the Qui-Gon Jinn one, because that's my experimental piece. I do like how it worked on this Obi-Wan Kenobi piece, but again, if I'd have done it sooner, I probably would have done all that, but didn't want to redraw the whole thing just because I'd learned something new. That is growth, and while I'm annoyed, it's a learning curve, and I just know that I've got to include more of that shading in the future drawings. So here's the thing, is any Star Wars video actually complete without some mention of Yoda? At least a video focusing on drawing Jedi. The weird thing I will say is this drawing didn't seem as difficult as the other three on this video. Mainly because, at least I think it is, because he's not human. You see, with the human characters, or at least human-looking characters, it seems more like you need to focus on the details, and you need to focus more on face shape. With characters, creatures, and alien species, which Yoda is, I don't think it's as difficult to replicate the design, because you can go wrong somewhere and have some of the line work or shape off subtly. Like, it wouldn't be as noticeable as it would be if you was trying to recreate someone's face who you knew. I found the same issue with portraits and stuff. It's a lot easier to draw a dog than it is to draw a person, because when you're drawing a person, you're a lot more conscious of trying to make it look like that person. But that's a bit of a rant. With this Yoda drawing, I found it a lot easier because I wasn't worrying as much about making him look human. And as I said, I could be a bit more loose with the drawing, because as long as it looks like Yoda, it will look like Yoda. And there isn't exactly many members of his species in the Star Wars films. So he is easily recognisable as Yoda. Never said Yoda so much in my life. But yeah, I liked this drawing, and it kind of gave me a standard on what to make these drawings look like. So experimenting with the style I wanted to go for was the purpose of drawing Yoda. And I don't know, I really liked how it turned out, so much that it changed the trajectory of where I was going with these drawings, because I was originally thinking to go more realism, but I just really liked how it turned out, and it pushed me to go in this other direction. But yeah, I hope you like this as much as I did when I first drew it. Again, I did do the grayscale shading underneath it, which doesn't put it on par with the Qui-Gon Jinn drawing, but it isn't as noticeable, probably because of the green skin. Finally, we have Anakin Skywalker, of whom is... surprisingly, this was the hardest character to draw of the four. I don't know whether it's because of the lack of facial hair or something, but I had a significantly easier time drawing people with beards, which is weird considering I don't usually give my own characters beards. But maybe it was that case of, if there isn't any facial hair on the character, I kind of have to put more effort into the face shape, which is making me overthink it. And I do think I ended up with something that looks like Anakin, albeit the stylized version I was going for. But the reason I left him till last is because of the next video to come out. Just like how I've done light side force users for this video, I'm going to be trying to draw the Sith / dark side users in the next one. And spoiler, Darth Vader is going to be the first one on the docket. I thought the Anakin drawing was... it was just the most difficult of the lot for some bizarre reason. I decided to go with a simple pose and decided to add the red / orange fade as the background because I wanted to hint at that dark side coming into it. If you haven't watched Star Wars and don't know that Anakin is Darth Vader, well, spoiler, but it's already too late. But how have you not watched it with how long it's been out? It's one of the best moments of the films to see Anakin turn into Darth Vader. Very heartbreaking when you know what he went through, and seeing his corpse charred. Whew. But yeah, I like how this drawing turned out, but if I did have to revisit any of them and try again, it would be this one. As you can tell from the time-lapse, I significantly struggled to get it right with the face with the face proportions, and just, I don't know, maybe I was in a bad headspace, maybe I was just, I don't know. Anyway, that's the last drawing of the video, and we'll carry on from there. So, you've seen the drawings. I hope you liked them, and if you don't, why am you still watching? Anyway, please like, comment, and subscribe, and if you do like the drawings or just the videos in general, please let me know, and I'll keep throwing them out there for you. Anyway, see you later.